that kind of leads nicely, I think, onto Rebecca and David's presentation. And I know that modular and modern methods of construction are, I'm pretty sure, a major part of Rooftop's development program. Am I right in thinking that?
The short answer is yes.
That's a relief.
Life is always a balance, and you'd be pleased to know, Siobhan, we've had the pain of Ilka Homes, but I won't say any more.
At this point, guys, I'm gonna pass over to Rebecca and David. You should be free to share your screen. I don't know who's leading it, Rebecca or David?
I'm doing the easy bit, and Rebecca's doing the hard bit. So,
well, I'll pass the baton over to you now. Then, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So that's the opening slide. Everyone can see that. Can you all see it now? Okay, right. So that's just a picture of one of our developments we did in Gloucester. So you'll see straight away that we don't go for standard. So I've told you who Rooftop Housing Group is earlier in the breakout, but for the rest of you, we're a housing association born out of Wychavon District Council in the mid-90s, number 4 in the stock transfer world. Our sister organisation used to be called Droitwich Spa, that became Elgar, became Festival, and became Platform. So is it Kate Doolan? Can't see the names.
Hazel,
right.
Hazel, yeah.
Hazel. So you may have come across us in your past life.
Yes,
yeah, and I'm pleased that I actually met a Doolan, because the other half of the Hannon family in Ireland are called Doolans. So there's a bit of connectivity for you. So we're in South Worcestershire, North Gloucestershire. Just to give you the geography of where we are, if you drive down the M5 and you hit Droitwich, that's where our patch starts. And you drive straight through Worcester and you end up in Gloucester. All the stuff on the right-hand side is where we operate. All the stuff on the left-hand side is where we operate. The stuff on the right-hand side, we tend not to operate. And that's for historical reasons, because we used to let Festival and now Platform work on the Worcester side. Predominantly rural, as Becky said. We work in 72 villages now, but we work in the major towns of Evesham, Pershore. We do operate in Worcester City, and we certainly operate in Gloucester City. Do a hell of a lot down there, and do a bit in Cheltenham as well, so we can go posh. So we've got 6,700 homes. We do rent, we do shared ownership, we've done rent to buy, we've done everything other associations do. And we go across the whole range of housing for our size, through from a bungalow and a garage source for an older person, all the way through to supported housing for young people, and drug and alcohol abuse, domestic violence, you name it, we tend to do it. And one of our specialisms, I'm going very fast because I'm conscious of time, is we work with gypsies and travellers. And I tried to make it a condition of the New Ways of Working 2 programme that anybody who got a bid had to work with travellers. We're still the only people who work with travellers. And if you can get into working with travellers, it's actually a very rewarding piece of work, certainly in the development world, because you do actually change people's lives. And for our size, we're ambitious, but across the Matrix Partnership, we're going to deliver something like 3,500 homes by 2023. So yeah, individually a little bit, together a hell of a lot. So move on, Beck. Our mission, it's there. We build great homes, support successful lives, being better business. I have to say that piece, because I do. And the picture you see on the left-hand side, you'll see again, was our first Code 6 level development. And that's a project built with Local, using their off-site manufactured SIP systems. So that's an example of what MMC can look like when you actually tell what the design of it is going to look like. So we have done some others, and I'll talk about that later. Beck? Here's our values, and I think these values, I think it was David earlier on, like our sector, because we seem to be very value-based. That's my words, not yours. But I think we can apply this to most housing associations. And if you worked at Platform, you may have seen something similar, because we had a big bust up over it. But generally, this is what a housing association should do. We work together, we do things better, we do things right. And I think that's a good strap line to have. And right, introduction. For those of you in the sustainability world, I mean, let's talk about do the I first. I've been around for quite, as I said before, quite a long time. I've done Eco Homes Good was my first development project. Then it became Excellent. Then it became Co for Sustainable Homes, and then it all got lost in the ether. And apparently, we were supposed to be building zero carbon homes by 2012. That's what the original target was, and now it's 2025, and it'll probably move again. But as a business, we've always been quite passionate, particularly where we operate, and in tackling climate change and also affordable warmth, in ensuring that our homes deliver sustainability, and that they are cheap to operate for the residents who live in them. Because obviously we're conscious, we work in a fairly low income economy. We have a high level of employment amongst our tenants, but very low wage employment. There's a work culture in Worcestershire. Not experienced it's one of those things, but people earn quite low wages. So every penny we can put back in their pockets through the measures we do helps. So that's one of our key drivers. And the other driver, obviously, is reducing carbon emissions. So we've done code sustainable homes. You've seen the code level 6 there. We're at ISO 14000 accredited. We've got a pool of electric cars now. And we try to do affordable, high quality, sustainable homes, which will bring us on now to where our rooftop living home standard journey. I think that's the next slide. I think it's seamless, that bit, isn't it, Beck?
So over to me. Thank you, Dave. So as Dave said, our values, it's written into the very fabric of our organisation that we go above and beyond. And we're committed to delivering high quality, well-designed, energy efficient homes in which our customers can live successful lives. So we established in 2019, we kind of launched the Rooftop Living Home Standard, which sets out the minimum requirements for all the new homes that we develop ourselves. We believe that the ambitious minimum requirements are the way to raise the bar around environmental and sustainable homes. So our standard, it's a significant improvement on current building regulations, because we want to ensure that we have better environment credentials for land-led homes, which give better environmental outcomes for our customers. So because we build great homes, we will always aim to achieve EPC-A rating on all our new houses where possible. And on the schemes that we build out ourselves, we adopt a fabric first approach. And our new homes are supplemented by renewable technologies, including PV panels and air source heat pumps, to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and keep utility bills low for our customers, which is something that really drives us in that if we can keep those bills low, then our customers have got more money in their pockets. We also recognise that the wider environment is as important as the living environment, and to address that, we aim to enhance the quality of the natural landscape and outdoor areas to improve well-being and comfort. So it's not just about the house, it's about sort of the site and the setting, which I think we kind of all recognise after our lockdown experiences over the last 8 months is kind of actually really valued. And I've always felt for those kind of residents that have been stuck potentially, in flats for weeks at a time, not being able to access any outdoor space. So it kind of really brought home to us that we need to be providing that as part of all the homes that we develop. So work on this started in 2018 when we worked with the Sustainable Housing Action Partnership based in the West Midlands to identify 7 key categories which cover the core functions of a dwelling. So this work was kind of born from a partnership of quite a few housing associations. And this is kind of how it ended. And unfortunately for us, it didn't go far enough. It was a good piece of work, but we wanted to sort of take it further. So the 7 categories I came up with was, water, carbon, comfort, space, place, energy and well-being. It almost kind of takes you back a little bit to the Code for Sustainable Homes. And so we wanted to take it that little bit further to see how we could encompass that in the work that we do when we build new homes. So here it is. This is the model in all its glory. We've split it into 6 key categories to make it nice and symmetrical, relating to water, energy, carbon, comfort, place and space. And as you can see, it's made up of 3 concentric circles. So the inner circle, the red one, relates to building regulations, which is the minimum build standard all house builders must meet. And the yellow circle is the baseline, what we call the Rooftop Living Home Standard, which we hope all our land-led development schemes will meet. That's sort of our baseline. And the outer circle is the Rooftop Living Home Standard Plus, which is what we're kind of aspiring to do at the moment with all our sort of new developments. And we'll meet that where we can, and our sort of technology and cost allows, if you like. The essential elements of the Rooftop Living Home Standard is our baseline and our new normal. And it's worth noting that it's not a technical document as such. It's sort of guiding principles. rather than prescriptive measures, as we can't provide a one-size-fits-all solution, because each site is different, the prevailing need, the practicalities, and the budget. So our design guide and our employees' requirements, they remain the detailed specification, and they sort of directly fed the Rooftop Living Home standard. So that I don't bore you with the technicalities of it and talk you through all the different sections, I'd like to throw some real life examples at you, which I think is a better way of explaining it. So Lattistep Court in Gloucester. We started work on this probably 2014, 2015, so long before the Rooftop Living Home standard was created. It was used to be a redundant factory site with buried asbestos and an underground culvert. And it is now a high quality development of 63 affordable homes, meeting EPC-A, using PV panels to make the most of the southerly aspect that we've got. We also worked closely with the Environment Agency to open up this underground culvert and remove an old weir that used to drive the factory. So by strategically placing rocks and boulders, we were able to sort of improve the movement of fish and wildlife and really improve the ecological value of the site. We also improved connectivity for older people, for existing people. It used to be this big obstacle in the area that you had to walk all the way around. It couldn't cross through. So by doing that, we were able to improve connectivity, and also in the process of finalising plans for a community garden to help, as I say, that wider environmental and comfort, well-being benefit. So how does this look in the model? As you can see, we've got lots of ticks there and sort of the inner yellow circle. So the fact that this site started working on it in 2014-15 still doesn't, it's gone through the build process, and we've still managed to achieve that inner circle, that Rooftop Living Home standard, through our existing commitment. We've got through. So if we go through in a clockwise direction, let's see that. So from a water, the drainage strategy includes a sustainable urban drainage system with attenuation and water butts to minimise off-site runoff. And the internal sanitary fittings keep average water consumption low. We achieved an EPC-A rating in the houses by using a timber frame construction and PV panels and high quality construction techniques to keep energy use to a minimum. To reduce the carbon footprint of the homes, we've had fibre to premise to facilitate home working, recycling facilities, composting bins, and a Gloucester-based contractor was used. And following demolition of the former factory, the concrete was crushed on site and used as hardcore, and the original bricks were all cleaned up and used in the development. So from a waste point of view, carbon footprint point of view, construction techniques helped keep that as low as we could. In terms of place, as I've said, the layout improves connectivity and all new homes secure by design. The regeneration of this brownfield site has also increased biodiversity and the ecological value massively. And as I said, also a community garden on its way in a not too distant future for their benefits as well. And finally, all homes provide the recommended storage and part lifetime homes compliance. So it's we've taken it forward through that 4 or 5 year process. We've still managed to hit that despite all the changes, and a lot of that is as an organisation, we've kept that code for sustainable homes, a lot of the key indicators of that over time. Another one that we've done recently, a site in Broadway. I won't go into too much detail on this one. This is the first one that we got electric car charging points in and managed to achieve EPC-A on a traditional build. And in practice, again, that's how it looked. We managed to hit a Rooftop Living Homes Plus one on that one. So this is a site that's coming forward for development soon. We're in planning with this at the moment. This is a Worcester site, so anyone that's worked in Worcestershire might recognise its location. Used to be a car boot site. This has been designed to meet the Rooftop Living Home Standard Plus. So the whole design concept has started with the Rooftop Living Home Plus in mind, which has been an important step for us. So properties have been orientated to make the most of the southerly aspect with shared surfaces and a range of outdoor spaces, including pond, allotments and community garden, to ensure our residents live in and have access to pleasant outdoor areas to facilitate that sense of well-being and community. And as you can see from this graphic, we are targeting the plus standard in all areas. From a design point of view, we can sort of say, yes, we're going to tick a lot of these boxes. And then as we get further down sort of the tender process, and we have sort of a more detailed design, we'll understand from a water point of view what we can do in terms of lifting that category up into the plus standard as well. So all the homes will meet nationally described space standards. We're incorporating significant areas to improve biodiversity, range of outdoor spaces. We've got MVHR for air circulation and brise soleil to minimise the overheating. We'll also be installing the car charging points, and then PV panels and ground source heat pumps as well to minimise energy use and dependence on our fossil fuels. So just a bit conscious of time. Lessons learnt from us in terms of delivering sustainable developments are that the standards must be set and kind of agreed at a design stage. Many features are not easily bolted on at the end and must be incorporated from the outset to maximise the benefits, you know, orientation, site layout, proper design and size. For example, sort of at Broome Hall, we've got space within the property footprint floor plan to accommodate that room for the ground source heat pump, and the roof design must be able to accommodate a large enough array of the PV panels. It's also important to have an experienced project team that understands the approach, has a buy-in to what we're trying to achieve, and the urban design principles and the necessary calculations. We're also very lucky to have a board and executive team that are passionate about doing the right thing and are keen to be at the forefront of sustainable housing delivery and understand that this comes at a cost. The government is heading in one direction in terms of sustainability, and we would rather be sort of ahead of the crowd rather than behind the times, so to speak. So exciting times ahead. The next few years as we negotiate a green COVID recovery and a post-Brexit situation are going to be interesting. So, let's just say, so as our government is committed to building better and building beautiful, we are quite excited to see the government's sort of future home standard develop. And in the meantime, we're going to focus on sort of customer engagement and education so that our residents can maximise the benefits and value that we've put into their homes. And we will continue to strive to deliver the net carbon zero homes by 2025, because we want to be the association of choice, if you like, the association that developers want to come to, not just the one that can pay the higher price. They want to be with us on that journey in developing the high quality sustainable homes. So I think I've kind of wrapped it up in about 15 minutes. So any questions for Dave and I?
Have you got any questions for Rebecca and David? Yep, Liam?
Yeah, I was just wondering, so obviously sustainability is quite a big and important part of Rooftop, but is that commitment to sustainability shared among your tenants, both your existing tenants, I guess, and your new ones?
Good question, Liam. It's all right. Am I on silent?
No, I can hear you.
No, you're good.
All right. Good question, because it's a constant debate with our residents action panel asking what's in it for us, which is a fair question. So if you look on the asset side, because we spend a lot of time sourcing grants, sourcing funding, and embedding in our business plan opportunities to improve our existing homes. So circa 200 of our homes at the moment have got solar PV. We've got a PV program going into the next year. We didn't do the rent to roof program like some people did a few years ago. Probably lost out on that. We've got the majority, 60% of our homes are at SAT Band C, and that includes our older stock. And then there's another 30% that are at SAT Band D and very close to C. Then there's Ds and Fs. And then obviously, if you go to some of our villages, we've got timber frame Tudor houses that we own, that sort of stuff. So we're not unusual in that sense. So we've always got that balance between the new product, the new car, and the old car. And we have to say, well, the reality is this is the new time. Your house was built in a different era, but you will catch up. And to be fair, I mean, I've had tenants come to me with bills of £3,000 a year for the electricity, and I've gone to the house and I can't see where they're using electricity. It's just the house is absolutely freezing, and they're on the top of the hill in the middle of Worcestershire. So we do a hell of a lot of work with the existing residents. But basically, our business plan has got 13 million locked into it to do sustainability works over the next 9 years.
I was just going to chip in there and ask you, was it costing you more? So are you factoring in kind of additional costs for sustainability features? So we're doing some financial modelling at the moment for our new bid with Homes England, and we're modelling on a number of different tenures and a number of different property types and a number of different sustainable features as well. So I just wondered if you guys are doing something similar.
We are. We're doing exactly the same modelling as you, and I don't mind sharing with you. We've looked at BCIS, and that only measures like we'd like, and we've got an escalator going to 2025 of the additional kit that's required, additional works, additional space standards. I then right in saying, Beck, and you can tell me if I'm wrong because you're closer to it than me. Let's just sign them off. I think we're estimating it costs about £7,000 per home extra to do what we do. And that's a financial hit. So we could do the basics and put it into the land value and the rest of it, but we choose to do this instead. Yeah. So we're starting to look at the life cycle of a home rather than the immediate hit.